Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:30 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting being held this 5th day of October 2023 at 7:30 has been provided in accordance with Section 3D of Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, commonly known as the Sunshine Law. Pledge of Allegiance, please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, then we motion to open to, roll call, please.
Muir?
Here.
Nelson?
Here.
Keith?
Yeah.
Mr. Kenny's excused. Lindsay?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien is excused. Decker?
Here.
Mooney?
Here.
Mitchell? Here. Thank you.
Okay, need a motion to open up public comments on the agenda only.
I make a motion to open public comments on the agenda only. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Suzanne Walker, 424 Charlestown Road. Two things. The fence ordinance is, there will be a public hearing on it,
Yes.
but not tonight.
Not tonight.
So I have a chance to actually read it this time
Yes.
instead of. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. And the ordinance for the public comment before for the Township Committee. I'm really opposed to, not the thing totally, but there shall be no more than, first of all, I want to understand why we're even talking about it. The committees have constantly keep saying they want dialogue. There's usually only a few of us in the audience. I can understand if there's enough, a lot of people. So something's going on and I don't think it's correct. And the fact that there shall be no more than one appearance during each public comment section from one person, you can't speak again. So how does that work if there's a dialogue and I have more than one question or something comes up? It just really, really reeks of bad. And I'll give you another example, this 3-minute thing, okay? I understand limiting it, especially if there's a lot of people or you want to get home, I get that. But when there's a dialogue, which I do appreciate, I think it's great that there's dialogue, because the Board of Ed meetings, they sit there and they don't answer. They're not allowed to. So I do appreciate dialogue, but there have been times when that dialogue has gone over 3 minutes. There's been times when there's been bullying. I've been bullied as a public member by Township Committee. The last meeting, there was a Township Committee member who very clearly went over the lines of bullying a public member and bringing up things that didn't even have anything to do with the discussion. So this really bothers me.
I think you answered your own question as to why the 3 minutes. And once we pass this, when it takes effect, it's to keep it more ordered.
I don't think it's gonna have that effect though. I think you already don't have people coming, and I think that it's gonna limit dialogue, and I don't think that it's gonna minimize the bullying that goes on no matter what. And why can't I come up again if something else happened? Oh yeah, I thought of something and I want to come up again. I don't understand that part of it for sure. So
Understood.
Thank you.
Judy, I'm just going to add, from my perspective, I can't speak for the committee members, but public comment is not the only way to communicate with the Township Committee. So, we have email, and I give out my personal cell phone number to just about everybody. I put it on Facebook, website. So at least I would say that I am always available by email or cell phone, text or call. So public comment is not the only way to have that dialogue, and I'm always open for that. We just need to make sure that the meetings are respected.
Barbara Cochran, 507 Charleston Road, and I do have comments on the same resolution. First of all, why did we choose a resolution instead of an ordinance? As this is not an administrative issue, but I feel that it's more, it touches the First Amendment right of public comment. Second thing, I find it very violent, really violent to the few people that are here, such resolution. I've been attending meetings forever, and I find this resolution very violent. Really, I'm very upset about it. Not that anybody here, but I'm very upset about it. Then again, there is when you talk about agenda item or on the resolution, a second reading of ordinances, you're allowed only 3 minutes. Second reading of ordinance is during a public hearing. We're going to have a big public hearing on the master plan, and you're suggesting at this time and moment to allow 3 minutes altogether to the public for comments. I just don't understand why. And I don't understand why you're passing this as a resolution, and still a resolution needs to be discussed in the with the public and open to public comment. And by the way, Mr. Mayor, Facebook is not really a legal venue. I don't use Facebook. So thank you.
I said my cell phone number is on Facebook, so you're more than welcome to call me at any time. I'm happy to talk to people one-on-one. That's the best way to communicate.
But it needs to be discussed in public.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you for serving our township. I know it takes a lot of long hours. I appreciate it. My name is Kim Salino. I live at 6 Creveling Road, Bloomsbury. I know you're all aware of the bridge on 579 that's out. There's a project as well. I know Mr. Muir is aware of that. We live in a little island, Creveling Road, and that is our access point out. Yes, there's 579, but 579 come inclement weather, winter, is dangerous. We don't trek it. So how are we supposed to get out? If there's an emergency, sickness, illness, hospital, we have elderly, how are we supposed to access?
We can happily take your comments at the end. This is for agenda items only at this point.
At this point?
At this
Okay.
point of public comment.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
it'll
you.
be reopened.
Okay.
It'll be
thank you.
reopened. I'm sorry about that. Any other comment on the agenda items?
Johnny Menace. I did read the resolution that the man was talking about. But in response to the mayor's comments about calling individual township committee members regarding an issue that's on the agenda, or any matter of fact, that is not public information, that's not public hearing. And I would say that's really a discredit to the whole process of sharing information with the public. I mean, I could be calling the engineer, call the attorney, although you don't want them to do that because they're going to charge you extra money. But I really don't think it's fair. 3 minutes is a short time. I'm not sure what the issues that the Township Committee has. Why are you limiting it to 3 minutes? I understand in general, other municipalities do that. And that it's a good practice when you have a big hearing, when you're going to have, you know, many, many people. And in fairness to all the people, you limit the presentations, comments to 3 minutes. But as it has been already said, that doesn't appear to be a problem. So can you at least share with the public what issues occurred that made the Township Committee decide to limit public comment to 3 minutes and one time only? That's my comment. If you want to respond, good, but I think it's a bad idea. If you want to limit it to something, make it more than 3 minutes and put something in your resolution that when time is of the essence or something to that effect, But at these meetings where we only have 5 people, this is a big group of people from what I'm used to. So I don't think it's a good practice.
Susan Watford. If the ordinance, that resolution passes, I wouldn't be able to come up and speak again. And it reminded me something of what Paul said about, you know, we can call, we can email. I've been coming to meetings about 30 years now, and half of what I say might be stupid or whatever, but I know that whatever I say is on record. And it's on record that I either objected to something or agreed with something, an email and a phone call. It's not the same kind of public record at all. So that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, so. Thanks.
Anybody else? Make a motion to close public comment on the agenda.
Make a motion to close public comment on the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We need a motion to adopt the regular and executive session minutes of September 7th, 2023.
Make a motion to adopt the regular executive session minutes of September 7th, 2023.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain, Chris. Okay, thank you. I make a motion to adopt the regular and executive session minutes of September 21st, 2023.
I have to abstain.
Oh.
From the motion. Even though I have to abstain.
Can he make a motion?
Even though I have to abstain from it.
You can make the motion, you just can't.
Right. And I'll make a motion to adopt the regular executive session minutes of September 21st, 2023.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
All right, I make a motion to adopt resolution 2023.88 opposing HR 3372, which would establish a 10-year pilot program for states to test 91,000-pound trucks. Did that motion, please?
I make a motion to open that motion as stated.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2023.89 requiring certain commercial motor vehicles to be equipped with global positioning systems. Can I get that motion?
I make that motion to adopt resolution 2023-89 requiring commercial vehicles to be equipped with the commercial GPS systems.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2023.90 dedication by rider municipal alliance for Voorhees High School. It's the drug and alcohol.
I make that motion as stated.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2023.91 dedication by rider municipal alliance, at this time for North Hunterdon High School.
I make that motion stated.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those abstentions? I make a motion to adopt resolution 2023.92, appointing an alternate public defender for 2023.
Make that motion to adopt 2023.92 to adopt the alternate public defender for 2023. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I make a resolution, I need a motion to adopt resolution 2023.93 for establishing procedures for public comments.
I'm not making a motion.
Okay, Paul, can you make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I don't agree with it totally.
Okay,
So how do we work this now?
Okay.
I mean, I think it needs to be discussed.
Thank you. So do
well,
I.
we can table it. You want to table it, Paul?
We can make a motion in a second and discuss. You need the second to have a discussion.
What was that?
Need a motion to make a discussion.
You need a second to discuss.
Discuss it, but you're not approving it.
Right, so you're not doing anything, you first in or what? First in?
It's just, we're following Robert's rules. So you make a motion, there's a second, and then a discussion.
I want to be able to have a discussion more about it.
I'll second that if we're gonna discuss it.
So I'll make a motion to put it up to discussion without making a decision on it right now. We'll get more discussion on resolution 2023 from time to breathe.
And I would say,
That sounds.
So how do we do that? How do we put this up? Do we put it in discussion?
Motion to discuss. Yeah, motion to discuss a second, then you have your discussion, close it out, and then decide if you're gonna do a vote.
Okay, so I need a motion to open for discussion on resolution 2023.93.
Make a motion to open for discussion, resolution 2023.93.
discussing it tonight.
Discussing.
Judy, do you want to share? I think it's important to know why this came to the board, because I've always been a strong advocate.
We just need a second. Did you want a second to open for discussion?
He hasn't seconded yet.
Tonight or executive session or between all of us, or I'm thinking we need to discuss a little bit between the five of us. But if you want to open up tonight, I'll do it tonight.
We're not voting, we can still discuss it tonight.
Okay.
For a resolution.
So we can talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, no decision gonna be made tonight.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, and we're, all five of us in here, so. Okay, I'll discuss
Well,
it.
if we're discussing, okay, so now I have a question. If we're discussing this with one member not here,
Yeah,
then
Table it one more here.
maybe we should table it, we'll discuss it.
Paul, your thoughts?
I'm the new guy.
I'm fine tabling it. I just think, out of respect for the Township Committee and those who do come out to the meeting, I've always been, I would say, the strongest advocate for public discourse. I'm the only one that ever has that dialogue that Suzanne talked about. We have no responsibility to ever do that, and it's sad that we had to have this discussion. But there are members of the audience who take advantage of it. They're disruptive to the meeting, and we can no longer accept that in the public meetings. So it's unfortunate, like many cases, that a few ruin it for the rest. So that's what brought this to the table. We could discuss it as an entire committee, but we needed to do something to bring a proper decorum back to these township meetings. That's unfortunate that a few ruined it for everybody else.
And I understand that, I'm fine with it, yeah.
Well, wait, we haven't opened this specifically for discussion. Because Steve, you
Yeah,
still haven't seconded.
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so go ahead.
And again, I do agree, understanding of some sort of having a set of rules, we are able to do so, however, I just not in agreement with what we had here in regard to this 3 minutes and only one time. I don't know what the recent incident or whatever else happened last meeting that you were discussing, from last meeting, but if there have been other issues too, let's discuss it. Steve?
I don't like the 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the first thing off my head, but I really like to sit and read this thing.
I know a lot of towns that have it tend to make up a 5-minute period.
I mean, I can.
And
And this, this doesn't have to apply to meetings when we discuss the master plan. This is for regular meetings. We can adjust as we need to for special meetings or special discussions. This also doesn't preclude from any particular groups. They have to have one representative, but if they're here for a presentation, so the planner making a presentation on the master plan, we can make adjustments. This is for regular meetings, and again, just to bring a level of decorum back to these meetings, because they've been getting out of hand, and people have not been respectful to each other for many meetings now.
So, yes, there have been a couple specific instances, and I don't like to call out anybody in a public meeting. From my perspective, I'd like the agenda comments, and then at the end, we had been opening it up kind of, to me, after almost every item. And when you try and watch it, I missed the meeting and I tried to watch it back, it's incoherent online. So there's certain things that aren't, now that we're a hybrid type of situation, to me, it's almost disrespectful to the people who want to join online. Because you can't hear, there is an echo in this room. It's not as bad, thanks to, you know, our staff that we've taken measures to try and mitigate that. But we do have to keep it a little bit more organized for those. And there are people who do watch it on playback. There are people that I've heard from personally who have watched these meetings on playback. So we have to be cognizant of that. That's not just for the people in this room, but we've got a couple of people online now. So that's one of my things, why I would like to make it into more of an organized type of meeting, was to be respectful of everybody and make it so that everybody can understand what's being said in this room. Now, if that means we have a time limit.
So my personal concern is time limit, and you know, again, we've had numerous times in the past where I myself, I don't think I've seen any craziness per se with comments while that, but there have been times where residents have wanted to say, oh, like Suzanne said, oh, I forgot something. Well, they come up and say it, that they should be able to have that ability, as long as she's, you know, whether it's on the agenda item or at the end, have that ability to come up and do it. Now, whether we decide we want to limit it to 2 or 3 times they come up, you know, that's a different story. Again, I think just having a 3 limit and 1 time only, that's just a little too restrictive for me, especially over, seems like a while now, they've been allowed to do a lot more and have a lot more leeway. Anytime you try to, you know, clamp down on something with a much tougher policy, you're going to get a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
So I don't think, Steve.
Okay, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I think we should bump up the time limit a little bit. We have to come up with a compromise, either 5 minutes or split it in half, go 6. You know, that's our discussion. You're saying now a resident can only come up 1 time. That's what I'm reading kind of here.
Or each section, yeah, that's what I'm reading. So
it says aggregate, does not say 1 time. Aggregate up to 3 minutes. So if they speak 1.5 minutes, they can come back up and speak another 1.5 minutes. I believe the limitation was the time, not the number.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Speaking shall be granted no more than 3 minutes in the aggregate, regardless of whether speaking on general issues, agenda items, or second readings. But now, if I'm reading this is saying 3 minutes total during the entire session.
Yeah, so that's what the aggregate is. So it's 3 minutes for the entire meeting. So if you want to examine 5 or 6 for an entire meeting, then that gives people, they can get up twice. You know, regardless, I think procedurally, we don't need to pass a resolution. We're not going to stop the meetings like we have been in the past. We can open for public discussion when ordinances come about. And that's, you know, that's where this could work out, that if somebody speaks 1 minute on an ordinance public session, then they can still have, you know, 2 minutes left or 4 minutes left for actual public comment. So that we can discuss, but it's the aggregate. It doesn't specify you're allowed to speak once.
Well, yeah, it does. It says there should be no more than 1 appearance during the public comment section of any public meeting of the committee. So, I mean, maybe I'm just the way I'm reading into it. It says you come up, you say your piece, you can't come up again if you only have 1 public comment appearance, 1 appearance.
Okay, you're right. I read it as an aggregate, so we can.
Well, no, it says aggregate.
It does say aggregate.
The line before that says aggregate no more than 3 minutes, but then after that, it says semicolon, there shall be no more than 1 appearance during each public comment section of any public meeting of the committee. And there should be no yielding of time by the speaker to another person. So, I mean, I think the way that's reading is whether you use 1 minute or 5 minutes, you can't get back up again. You need to clarify that to say that you can.
To me, it's confusing the shit out of me.
I can see where it's.
So why don't we table it? We'll discuss an executive session next meeting when all the committee members are there. We can discuss in public as well, but I think all 5 committee members should be there, and we'll take action on the 19th on this.
Okay.
Again, just for the proper procedure, though, there's no obligation to stop in between the two public comment sessions. So I would suggest that we stick to that from now on. I know I was the biggest violator of breaking the meeting to allow residents to speak, but as Judy shared, it was very disruptive to the meeting. So that's not under resolution. Just want to make it clear so that those in attendance understand the policy.
Okay. And it's tabled to the 19th.
Can you open it to the public discussion?
Well, that's what we were just. If we do one thing, we leave it.
This is a comment that has not been brought up.
We
want you to go because it's hard to hear.
Yeah, again, it's like I was saying, it's. All right, well, then I'm gonna need them.
Can I come back?
No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till the end.
So they just hold all the public comments.
All the public comments will come at the public comment section, as we were saying, that the one thing we really want to do to keep it in order is the stopping and starting has gotten to be disruptive. All right, happy to hear it at the end, so. Do we need a motion to table? Motion to table, please?
Make a motion to table this. So
Resolution 2023.93.
I make a motion to table resolution 2023.93 until all committee members can discuss.
And I'm seconding it. I also want to add, I do agree, we do need to pull the reins back on some of the crap that's been going on. I totally agree. We just got to work it out a little bit better than the way I'm reading as we're trying to understand.
I agree.
So, yeah,
That's fine.
I'm full with that.
All right,
Thank you.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that we can get to the end of public comment, can we pay the bills? I need a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $113,000, $113,908.44.
I make a motion to pay the bill and the amount stated in as on.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No, roll call vote for the bills.
Yes.
Keith,
Yeah.
Mr. Kenny is excused. Lindsay,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
you are.
Yes.
Thank you.
Report of municipal engineer.
Just a couple updates. Brunswick Pike, the drainage and road improvements. We had our pre-construction meeting with the contractor, Top Line. They should be getting started in about 2 weeks.
Oh.
They'll be starting on the drainage first. That will probably take about 2 weeks for them to install. And then they'll do the mill and pave. And quite honestly, that'll probably be 2 days. They'll probably mill it one day, pave it the next. It's a fairly short section. And then after that will be signage and guide rail, things like that. And so that will be done within the next 5 weeks.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
So I take it there'll be periodic closures of the road?
We talked about that with the contractor, and all the residents on the road will have access to their homes and their driveways. Okay, so that's fortunately it's the driveways are at either end of the road. There's not a lot in between. So we'll provide while you're more close, you're more close to the one end. But we're definitely going to keep access open for everybody, and that's mostly going to be an inconvenience during the milling and paving operations, which again is going to be 2 days, so it'll be
Okay. All right.
And then the only other thing I had was hopefully what will be my final update on Heritage Park. All the improvements that we planned for have been installed. The well and the bottle fill, the benches have been installed, and within the past week, Carl and the guys installed the small pavilion. I think it's like a 10 by 12, basically.
It's nice.
And it looks really nice by the playground. There's benches in there. Really came out well. Guys did a really good job.
Yeah, I wanted to thank the DPW for that as well. They did a lot.
So now the last step that we have in that is turning all the paperwork to TCA and getting reimbursed from the grant. So
Okay. Thank you.
Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have.
Questions from the committee?
No, just want to get confirmation, the well, everything's good with the well, the water
Yes.
is not bad,
Yep.
it's,
Everything.
tests came out fine now.
All the well testing was fine, the initial well testing,
Right.
came back that we needed water softener and so forth. And what we found was when they were actually sizing the system, they retested the water and the water came up fine. And the only thing that we can conclude is that when they installed the well and they did the water testing, they didn't flush it out enough to, to get any of the process from putting the well in to flush that out. So there may have been some residual from that, but otherwise, no, the water's fine. We didn't require any treatment on it at all. As we get close to the colder month, DPW will have to go out, blow out lines and drain things and winterize it. But no, it's good.
Now, how often are we gonna test it though? We're gonna test it every couple of years?
You have to, because it's a public water supply, there are requirements for testing it when it gets reopened. It has to be tested every year. Okay, to make sure that it meets code. That has to be sent to the health department, county health department. We'll make sure that it gets flushed out for quite a period before it gets.
Thank you.
The only thing I want to add is I guess Carl actually would have been garbage can because I went down there 3 hours after it was installed and it was shit around. So I went that told Carl I think he already ordered a garbage. So it's the only thing we're gonna have. But it is beautiful. It really looks nice. It really does.
It really does. It gives a nice place for parents who are taking their kids to the playground to sit down and pick lunch and everything. It's, really nice.
Yeah, very happy. Anything else? Okay. I don't think there's anything else for you, Tom. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Report of public safety official, there's no one here and I am not seeing anyone online, so we can skip over that and go right to the old business and the discussion on ordinance number 436.2023, amending section 102.19, the fencing walls and site triangles. I need a motion to open that discussion.
I'll make a motion to open discussion for ordinance number 430.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So as we know, this is what was sent to back to the planning board after our last meeting. A couple of areas of concern were making sure that there was a section that mentioned the Right to Farm Act and that supersedes this ordinance, as well as clarifying some of the definitions around deer fencing and actually broadening that to actually take out deer specific and making it more about animals, farm animals in general. So anybody have any questions from the committee on this being sent back to us?
I guess we have one other which I should have addressed before is so under section A down the bottom, we're talking to the dog on another animal in an area, height, and says that it should be located in rear yard zone setback. I guess just speaking from experience, because I had this issue when I tried to look at solar panels on my property. Not all properties are set where there's a rear yard. A lot of 90% of my open site property is on the side of my house going down towards the wood line. I have a flag lot, which is nowhere visible from anywhere, but because the back of my property backs certain other properties, there's an actual possible for me to put anything in the backyard. Like if I wanted to do solar panels, I was told I couldn't put them on that property, even though it was 300, 400 feet away from me in the woods by my barn. I was told they couldn't go there because it technically was on my side property, not the back property. I don't know if that's just something to address or not, but
because that's we can't look at every single scenario in town. So flag lots are very unusual, and we try to zone those out of existence if we can. Obviously, yours is built and exists, and there are a few others. That would be up to the zoning officer. So I know the previous zoning officer with the solar said you only had a side lot. this would be left to the discretion of the zoning officer. He may take this at the letter, the way that it's written, and then the resident would be able to come to the planning board and ask for a determination, and that's how that would be addressed. It's not a variance. It would just be a determination or a request to review the zoning officer's judgment.
And last zoning officer, two zoning officers wanted to put $10,000 into a pot for a variance, and I had to wait for there, so. Like
I said, the solar is a little bit of a bigger project, but so I can't speak to that. But this would not be that.
Okay.
Any other discussion? You good, Steve? Okay. That being said, then we will reintroduce this ordinance at the October 19th meeting, after which there will be a second public comment meeting on the revised ordinance. Need a motion to close discussion?
Make a motion to close discussion on ordinance 436.2023.
Amen.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, something fun. This discussion of motion to open discussion for the determination of the date and hours to celebrate Halloween within the township.
I make a motion to discuss and determine the date and hours of public.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 What do we think?
October 31st.
Halloween is on a Tuesday?
It's on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, October 31st. They usually do 12 to 8. I know 12 sounds strange, but I think we did it for younger kids just in case. So that's what our standard has been.
Yeah, all the way it's always been.
Yeah. That.
Okay, you need a vote? Chris, we don't need a roll call on this.
No, it's just, you need a motion and a second.
Yeah, and a
To
motion.
vote for having it on the 31st and for the time frame.
Okay, so need a motion to approve the October 31st from 12 to 8 p.m. for Halloween.
Making a motion to approve at Celebrate Halloween October 31st from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Report of zoning official was an email. You see he did update it to include any complaints. Report of Department of Public Works was emailed, but Steve, would you like to read it?
Want me to do it on the roads?
That's up to you. You want to do it later on? That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, report from Carl. Equipment repair on various pieces of equipment, cut and chip of trees that fell on roadways from storms. Started to put the adapters on catch basins for tier A. Closed off bridge on walking trail, that's in our park. Put together and installed 8 benches for walking trail. Installed 6x12 new pavilion at the playground area along mulch and picnic tables. Line strength 1/3 of township roads. Get the park ready for community day and mow all parks and municipal buildings.
Okay. Thank you. We have an email report and also a representative tonight here from the Open Space Committee. Which, if anybody has any questions for him in the public comments section, we'll certainly like that, John.
Yeah. I'm John Jimenez, chairman of the Open Space Committee, which is currently a committee of one person, me. Yeah, I like to make a summary of the report, present a summary for the public to know what's going on, and to give the Township Committee opportunity to ask some questions. Currently, the township has $900,000 available from Green Acres as a matching fund towards the acquisition of open space properties, and that's in addition to what's in the municipal and the county open space trust fund. Now we have 2 properties that are in process of being acquired. There are negotiations on both of these properties. One property is block 44, lot 29, which consists of 120 acres. Township is looking to acquire 100 of those 120 acres. We have obtained 2 appraisals per Green Acres requirements. They've been submitted to Green Acres to certify the market value of those properties. And once that is done, then we'll be able to make an offer based on the market value to the seller. The second property is block 5, lots 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, known to some as the Culbertson tract. And that property consists of 178 acres. All the money is in place to do that acquisition. And the township will be contributing towards the soft costs only, not to the actual acquisition of the land. And as I mentioned when I started, there's more than sufficient funding available through the funds that the township has to go forward with payment of those soft costs. And for those who don't know, soft costs include things like a title search. There has to be an environmental assessment of the property, and the big cost items, especially for a property of 178 acres, is the survey, land survey. Jackie Middleton of the Huntington Land Trust has been doing the negotiation on that property, and she has reached an agreement, sales agreement. There's a draft contract has been prepared by her, and so what needs to be done now is for the municipal attorney to review that draft contract, make sure that it complies and is to the satisfaction of the township. And once that's done, they can schedule the rest of the work that needs to be done, such as the land survey and those costs I mentioned earlier. So I request the Township Committee do that, approve that, the municipal attorney to negotiate, and that's to review the sales agreement. That's my presentation. Any questions?
I think it's all good work. Yeah, thank you.
Now, I'm a person who always says I'm done, but I'm never done. So some of you, like Paul, probably knows that. But anyway, you may need to pass a resolution or a resolution to authorize the attorney. So you may want to put that on your agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Report of tax collector, I don't think we got any. Report of tax assessor, I didn't see anything either. And report of clean communities, nothing. Report of environmental commission, I don't think so either. All right. Report of animal control official was an emailed report. Report of township attorney.
No report.
No report. Report of personnel technical support, that's myself. I actually don't have anything on that tonight. Mr. Keith, do you have anything to add as roads commissioner?
No, we're just chugging along.
Okay.
We're gonna start taking care of the GovDeal stuff. Tom, like to sell some of the equipment, so
Okay.
maybe probably gonna get involved with that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve, I sent an email to you and Jen today to see if that schedule will be disrupted by anything, so and offer additional help. So when you get a chance, check the email.
Okay, thanks.
Report of joint professional services coordinator. You're the one here tonight, Paul?
Yes, I have one personnel issue for executive session.
Okay. Report of Highlands Council, that's me. I don't have anything tonight. Report of governing body members. I'll start with you, Mr. Lancy.
Nothing too much going on right now. I did get in touch with, Mr. Gamble, with our doing insurance. We have a meeting scheduled for a safety committee meeting on October 19th, I said,
Yeah, at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Mhm.
And, October 16th, I believe myself, Carl, Paul, my shooter are going. The various pipelines in the county have their annual pipeline safety awareness, training over in Clinton. So we'll be attending that. These are all the trans continental gas pipelines that go across the country. So the representatives for ours will be there as well. We'll be attending that meeting on the 16th. And I have one thing, I guess, contract goes under for executive session, so.
Okay. Steve, Mr. Keith, anything else?
I just want to thank everybody who attended Community Day and the people that actually put it on. It was a great day, allowing me to blow shit up as usual, but yeah, I think everybody had a great time. And I just want to, again, thank everybody who puts that on. It was a great day. And I just have something for executive session. I'm going to do litigation.
Okay. I myself, I have nothing as deputy mayor tonight. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything? Report of mayor?
Sure. Do you want to do the administrator first?
Sure, you can do that. No, you're gonna go after.
Just following what I see in front.
The zoning officer, his hours are changed, the door outside is updated with the new hours. I have one for executive, one for one contract, and 3 personnel.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mayor?
Sure. Did Jen say 3 personnel?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to reiterate what Steve shared. Thank you to our Recreation Booster Club for organizing Community Day. Thank you to our DPW for preparing the park, and Carl for being there the whole day, helping support us during that day, and Steve for the most amazing fireworks display that I've seen this year, and probably in quite some time. So it was great to see so many residents out. The park was filled. I saw people enjoying the new pavilion by the playground, and it was an amazing community day. So thank you for all who organized and those who came out to enjoy Bethlehem Township community. Also, I know we had somebody just stand up, but I had a report on some of the bridges there in Bloomsbury as chance would have it. So there are 2 bridges that allow access in and out of Bethlehem Township. One is a steel bridge that is scheduled for replacement that is now currently damaged. The oversight is provided by the county. I'm going to say that loosely, but the bridge is maintained and ownership is by New Jersey Department of Transportation. The second is a wood bridge on, I keep calling it Willow Street, but it's actually got a different name, but on the map. But it is also overseen by the county and owned and maintained by NJDOT. There is I'm going to say, unfortunately, a harsh reality for that steel bridge that's damaged. That bridge is going to be repaired before it's replaced, but it will not be done until January. So that wood bridge will be the only alternate. And then once they do replace that steel bridge, it'll be about 18 months for that construction project. So that wood bridge will be the only access for a long time. With that said, myself and Mayor Papix in Bloomsbury, along with Commissioner Van Doren from the county, who's in charge of roads and bridges as their liaison, have been working with DOT to get response to examine that bridge. The steel structure on that bridge, as stated by DOT and the county, has no weight limit. That bridge can take truck traffic. The wood boards are of concern. DOT was supposed to be out there yesterday and today assessing and maybe starting the replacement. I apologize that I've been traveling, so I don't know if they have. I asked for an update from the county before this meeting and I was unable to obtain that. But DOT will be looking at and replacing those boards to make that bridge more accessible. But my understanding is there is no concern about the weight limit on that bridge. Mr. Lenzi and I have been in contact with Bloomsbury Fire. My main concern was fire and rescue, and they are all confident that they can use that bridge to access. Although I have been told that Holland Township and Pattenberg are both on dual alert to come down the mountain as well in case there are ever any disruptions. And I think that's just standard procedure, whether the bridge is damaged or not, because of the terrain that's there. So that's the update on the bridge. I will continue to follow up with the county and DOT to make sure that they follow through on their commitments. And then just as Bethlehem Township has to look and reevaluate our master plan, the state goes through a redevelopment plan. And so the state is currently in that procedure themselves. And there are a bunch of public hearings. The state website is actually difficult to navigate. So I would suggest if anybody's interested, the New Jersey planning officials, it's njpo.org. /news/the-state-plan. And there are a bunch of webinars. And then there's also a public comment section where you can email. I don't believe there's any public comment for it. But tomorrow is the first one on infrastructure strategies for transportation, water, and other utilities. That is Friday, October 6th from 9 to 11. And then the upcoming ones are through next week and into the following week. And they range from housing strategies to environmental protection and natural resources to open space, historic and cultural preservation, establishing goals for social justice, establishing goals for climate change and resiliency, economic development, workforce strategies, sound and integrated planning, and an updated state plan. So I know many have had interest in our local plan, but we are definitely influenced by the state plan. I have already reached out to the Highlands Council, and they are plugged into this. There are some things that they have issue with in the state plan, and they are working through it, which would be beneficial for Bethlehem Township if the council saw the changes that they would like to see. And then the last thing that I had was at the last meeting, Mr. Berger had stated that he had met with our court clerk or court administrator and about a summons issued to ADS Environmental. And he stated that our court administrator told him that he needed to come talk to the mayor. And I've made it very clear that the executive and judicial branches do not interact. We have no influence over each other. So I reached out to our court administrator to ask her to clarify what that statement was. She said it was some time ago, but her recollection was that it was taken much out of context, that when asked, she told him that the summons was delayed due to requests from ADS Environmental, and that when she referenced me, it was in reference to the settlement that we're working on. If you had any questions about that, that has to go to the executive and to discuss with the mayor and the township attorney. So I make it very clear that that was not in reference to the summons. Once there's a summons issued in the court, the executive branch, myself, or any other committee member have no control over that. I did ask for an update because I was curious at that point why it was delayed. And again, it was because ADS asked for it to be rescheduled. The most recent court date was September 26th, and it is being rescheduled for either the end of December or beginning of January at this point. But I wanted to make that point very clear that what was shared in public comment last meeting was taken out of context, I'm sure, for devious purposes. So that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Comment. You want to say something? No. Oh, Paul, the reason why those fireworks look kind of different and spectacular for you, because I added a whole bunch of special shells because it happened to be my anniversary, and I did it for my old lady, so it was a lot of special shells involved in that shell. I
saw there was some were heart shaped, Steve. I did notice that.
They're all special, and there was some smiley faces in there, and
I saw those too. So happy anniversary! It was amazing. Happy anniversary, Steve.
I just want to make that comment. Thank you for noticing.
All along, I thought they were for me.
No, well, maybe one.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, make a motion over to public comment.
Make a motion to open the public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment?
I don't come to many of these meetings anymore, so I'm taking advantage of the 3 minutes.
Not enacted yet.
The only comment I wanted to make was the same issue, that resolution 2023-93. And that's, I heard several times people mention discussion of that in executive session. And that is not an executive session item for discussion. It's not litigation. It's not contracts. It's not personnel. So it has to be a public session.
Hi, I'm sorry, and thank you for referring. But thank you again. In reference to the project, the bridges in Bloomsbury, the concern we have is if that repair is going to be in January, how long is that going to take? Because winter's already ensued. It will be here, we get snow in a month. And the wooden bridge is a concern because although it may hold umpteen pounds, there are wooden planks. And I don't know if you've been over it. The planks are like broken, split, and there's some issues. And then they're having problems with community members on either side. It's kind of a tug of war, moving it back and forth. The road cones and you can't get through. I happen to go through there every morning at 5:30 in the morning to get to the train station, and someone keeps moving it. You don't see it. You don't see the cones. So it's very dangerous. That's a huge concern. And our other concern is what happens during the snow and ice. That bridge over the years, they've never really plowed that. Does that get plowed? Is it plowable with wooden planks? Because then if not, that only leaves us going up 579. And if you're all not familiar with that, it's steep as can be. And that's actually had a sign up now. They're working on that on the road, doing construction on that too. I've always been an advocate, always about our students, our children, the buses, and I hate that those buses go up that mountain. But that's our only outlet now. If you're shutting that down, why can't the bridge be started? Why are they not starting just the repair now? Because I understand they're in the design phase for the replacement of the bridge. And we all know how that goes. This project's been on the books for 25, 30 years. So are we gonna expect as taxpayers to be waiting for that? I mean, we all pay taxes here and we get minimal services, and those roadways are important. I know we do a great job cleaning them and clearing them, but now we're talking about Bloomsbury. What's our recourse? What happens next?
Yeah, so I guess just to be very clear, because I will advocate as hard as I can for our Bethlehem Township residents and continue to do so. Those are not our bridges. We have no control over anybody who has control to repair those bridges. There's nothing that I can do, and I'm just as frustrated as you are. All I can do is communicate with the county and DOT to express my concerns about emergency vehicles first, and then our residents' access as well. So the wood bridge, again, my understanding is the DOT was supposed to be out there to assess and or replace wood boards. I would assume, and I'm going to continue to follow up, that they will be replacing wood boards on that bridge. The other bridge, I think they are still, they have, I guess, written permission, but they need some sort of access scheduling with the railway to be able to fix that bridge. So it's not, even up to DOT. That's federal regulation. So the DOT is held up. Essentially, the railway could tell us no and never fix that bridge. I don't think that would ever happen. But there's a lot at play that Bethlehem Township does not have.
We all understand that in the neighborhood. Yeah. I guess if we're going to continue to use that wooden bridge, and as you said, you're getting info from the state and from the county. We understand it's not our bridges, and we've been working with the town of Bloomsbury. Bloomsbury is part of our community, our neighborhood. My church is there. I'm Bethlehem Township, but that is a huge part of our community.
Yes.
And we are no people on Willow and Grove, and we feel commiserate for them that we're going through there, but the signs are for local traffic. And the traffic that comes through there, they're coming from everywhere. When 78 shuts down, they come down there and they still go through there. So no one's watching, and like you said, you don't know the poundage going over that bridge, but there's a lot of traffic that flows through there. And it's pretty scary, Paul, because that entryway, there's a huge sign. As a matter of fact, coming over it tonight, someone moved the huge sign and moved it over. And I have a small SUV and I could barely get through. So it's dangerous.
I've discussed, and so Mayor Papix and I try to work together on this because we're hoping that 2 towns are better than 1. And then the county has been helpful as well. Some of those signs are not county or DOT signs, and they are not being moved in any official capacity. I
believe that someone's doing it, but so my biggest fear is I have children that drive. We drive to the train station every morning, and my daughter's going over that bridge. And when you come over the bridge, as you're going up over the bridge, you don't see anybody coming on the other side, headlights only. But if it's other than that, it's scary, and an accident's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. We've lived there 19 years, and the other bridge before they have the traffic light, that was always, you know, pitting one side against each other, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want to lose lives. People need to communicate, but if we can have more effective communication, what's going on? We are a little island sitting over there, and 579. It doesn't make me warm and fuzzy that I'm being forced to take 579 in the winter, in the storms and snow and ice. I've been railed off that road. It's pretty scary. So I would appreciate if any communication you have, the sooner the better, that we get those planks fixed, because that's the bridge we're going to use.
Yeah, I'm going to keep pushing on the planks. I sympathize with you.
Thank you so much.
Well, the mayor said I had spoken with Andrew Camp over at the county. It's the county, same thing. There's also work on the planks too, but I just want clarification. One of the concerns too, also the possibility of 2 cars going, is it only out of
So the bridge could do like 2 small cars,
right?
And that's what's going on. It's like a monkey.
Right, but now that you got bigger cars.
But now you have trucks, dualies with no poundage. Everybody goes over it. So
the state's already said there's no waiting list. I mean, anyone can go over. I'm just wondering, Paul, maybe reach out to a DOT rep to see if they can do some sort of temporary traffic control device to help.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Kind of like what they had at the bridge that's being repaired now, like a temporary red light or something, or maybe.
But right now, one of those big yellow cone, you know, those barrels.
Yeah.
One of them was there out on the roadway on Stats. Someone moved it. It got crushed, and they keep putting it on the bridge, so next to the little road. What are you going to do? Stop and get out of your car and move these things? There's lines of traffic coming in and out both ways, and it's all hours of the day. So I know we can't stop it. I know we can't stop non-local traffic, but something's got to be done, because when 78 shuts down, they all find that alternate route and they come through there, you know, and we deal with truckers getting off the roads, and they get turned, everybody goes into Krevlin to do the turnaround. So yeah, just not fun.
Yeah, so that route should actually be eliminated. My understanding is that's why we just passed the resolution tonight about commercial GPS systems. That route should not actually ever show up for a trucker if they have their GPS system programmed properly or using commercial. We did work with DOT to eliminate that as an alternate route for trucks.
This is what I said, because they all come, I know it. Hopefully that's the case and that doesn't happen.
Well, a lot of them don't want to spend the money.
But they come down. We've actually just recently, and my neighbors can attest, if they can't, they'll come down, try to come down 579 around that hairpin. We've had all kinds, we've seen it all. And then our neighborhood is the free for all, the turnaround. And that's what we're worried about too. More traffic, congestion, people coming down, then they get turned away. It's a problem. So, you know, we have kids in the neighborhood, and it is scary, and our kids are driving, and that's scary in itself. But when that's going on, someone's playing chicken with the road cones and so forth. That's my children you're putting in danger.
Oh, I agree.
And I don't appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rick Holmes. I live at 5 Krevling. Paul, I want to thank you for giving us that new information tonight. I just want to add to the record here about the problems that we are having on Krevling Road right now. We had the microburst come through, so it's not been a great summer with this on top of it. But I'm a little confused. If you could give me a little bit more information about if they start the repair in January, How long might that take, and how long would the gap be between the end of the repair and the beginning of the reconstruction? So that's top of mind. But to talk about Milford Road as well, when I first moved to the neighborhood in 2014, I didn't have cars that could go up to the top of the mountain. So I said, this is about as far as I could go up the mountain and live in Bethlehem Township. So we did decide to buy there. But if we go, especially in the wintertime, if we're going down Milford Road, in addition to the planks being either loose or disjointed, once you go down, the road is really crowned. There are potholes on either side, and there's that big S curve. So once you get some speed going down that hill, that is not a 2-lane road for a lot of traffic, especially in the winter. It's hard enough in the summer, it's narrow, but in the winter, I do agree that it's going to be really dangerous for us to be using that on a constant basis in any kind of vehicle, whether it be an SUV or not. So I am worried about that. Also, about 3 years ago, I did have a brush fire in my backyard, and Bloomsbury was able to respond to it in like 3-5 minutes and keep it at the grass line of my property, and they were able to put it out. So I worry about response time as well with this other bridge. So those are some of my biggest concerns.
I spoke with the Bloomsbury chief in regard to response times. Our deputy OEM does right on Strasser with that area too. The Bloomsbury chief said not to worry, they have no problem going over that bridge. That bridge holds your trucks, they know they're fine with that. There's no issues with them getting over that bridge.
Yeah.
That came up, I guess, a couple weeks ago. There's some Facebook posts going on in regard to the bridge being possibly out with the boards being up. So he gave us assurances that they'll get there, no problem.
My one last thought, Paul, maybe if you could put more pressure on the county level, because this is the main conduit, 579 from here all the way down to Flemington, Trenton, and to have a bridge out, if it was in the middle of 579, midway between those points, this would be a big issue for the county. But I think that they're thinking just because it's the last mile of it, maybe it's not as important, but it really is.
It's kind of, and I'm working hard as I can on it, but it's kind of trickle down. I hate to say pressure, because the county, I reached out to the county. I have reached out to DOT as well, but DOT is the end that's responsible for that. And they're just not as responsive as that we had hoped, but we do reach out to them. And so right now we have Bethlehem, Bloomsbury, and the county kind of as a unit, pushing on DOT as much as we can to get some action on the Woodbridge first. And then I will find out. I don't know how long it's going to take to repair that steel bridge once they begin the work. I will try to find out. I don't know if the county knows yet, because it's not their project, and DOT has not said anything about how long it's going to take them to do it. They're just saying it won't be till January. So I'm trying to get the Woodbridge as safe as, you know, or I don't want to say it is safe now, but as hospitable as it can be. The Willow Road on the other side, you know, I've talked to Mayor Papix about that. It's a Bloomsbury infrastructure issue. They've you know, patched some potholes and things, but that's you know, it's not normally traveled, so it's not in their budget to make those improvements. So we're working as much as we can, but it's multiple agencies pushing.
Yeah, and if I leave you with this thought, I would say the bridge, I think, is safe, but the road is not. Mm-hmm. Once the winter hits and the weather sets in. All right, thank you.
Understood, and we're gonna keep pushing on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Krupnick. I'm at 80 Stats Road. Don't want to beat you over the head with this. I really appreciate the update on it, because that's one of the reasons I came tonight. But one of my concerns is also with all the traffic being directed down Stats, it's turned into a speedway, a literal speedway. I mean, it's dangerous. I've gone to the bottom of my driveway, gone to pull out, and somebody's coming at least 50 miles an hour. It's a 30-mile-an-hour road. It's always been kind of an issue, but now the traffic is much more because everything being directed down there. My only suggestion would be, if possibly the only speed limit sign on that road is right when you get on it, pretty much. And maybe another way would be to halfway down, put another speed limit sign on there to maybe hopefully remind people what the speed limit is. We have a lot of kids, school buses and everything else. I don't know. And the other thing is, people keep moving that big local traffic only sign, which is doing nothing because everybody's ignoring it. And at this point, I'm not even sure it's worth keeping it there because people keep moving it in front of the, I had the same issue tonight trying to get here. I could barely get around it to get on the bridge and somebody keeps putting that beat up barrel in the middle of the bridge. You know, I don't drive a little car, but even so, maybe just either find a way to affix it somewhere that it can't be moved or just get rid of it because it's not doing anything anyhow, other than getting in the way of the residents. So anyhow, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keefe, maybe you can work with DPW as roads commissioner to get a speed limit sign. Additionally, we may have one in stock.
And how about that sign that you talked about that keeps getting moved? Can we do something permanently with that? Or?
I'll reach out to Mayor Papix. That's not our jurisdiction, and my understanding is that's not a sign that any government agency put out. So I guess it's ours, or not ours, but somebody's responsibility to remove it. So I think that's been the issue, is that there's signage and it's being moved by individuals. And those are not official signs.
I'll talk to Carl tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I do believe it's on the Bloomsbury side of so I can reach out to Mayor Papix and see what we can accomplish.
But someone found it somewhere, but it's not a township.
It doesn't belong to Bloomsbury either. The one with the lights.
It's got everything on it. It's from a road, like, and it went out. Remember that bridge has been out since like the end of July. So we've been doing this, and it was there with sandbags on it, and
I know there's some in Bloomsbury that said that the sign wasn't there, is that local residents keep putting the same sign back up and they keep taking it back down.
But to point, the traffic that Stats is seeing, that's Stats, probably that's our neighborhood. That's us. And we see that, and 30 miles an hour anyway is high, is a lot.
Because there's no shoulders. Right?
There's nothing there. And when you're now everybody's passing each other, it's like a free for all. It's dangerous. Someone's gonna get hurt.
They're doing extra patrol in the area as well. Yeah.
Can they lower the speed limit then? Or that
that'd be an ordinance, I believe, right?
Yeah, we'd have to do a speed study and then do it by ordinance, unfortunately.
I mean, it might be worth it during this process if it's and 18 months.
What's up, Paul?
Yeah, we can ask and see if we can initiate it. My concern is it's the average of the speed that's on that road. So right now you're seeing increased traffic. You may actually see that speed limit increase based on its current usage. So I think it's risky to actually do it. We can see if there's some sort of emergency. I don't know, Paul, you would know better than I would. If there's an emergency way of changing that speed limit as a detour route. But I think if we actually try to change it by ordinance, since we're seeing increased traffic on that road, we may run the risk of seeing the speed limit actually increased.
Down on Willow, they tell the borough, Bloomsbury put up.
I'm sorry, you gotta.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is why we're trying to get the meetings a little more.
I'm new to this. Down on Willow, they put up one of those electric ones that say your speed is. It's not operational, but is that something that could potentially work that you could do without doing that kind of study? Get one of those.
Those cost around 5,000 to 7,000. I deal with those local police department. Okay. And the thing with them, what I've noticed is when we put those up, people want to sit there. As Paul was saying, especially with the increased amount of traffic, it takes the average speed of all the cars going down. So you may have 1 or 2 cars that may fly down at 40, 45 miles an hour. You may have 7 or 8 cars that are doing 25 to 28 miles an hour. So when you pull the records off there, 99% of the time, I have people tell me cars are speeding down my road all the time. So I pull the records off there, and the average speed of all the cars on that road falls within 3 to 4 miles an hour what the speed limit is on that road. So after I'm doing a speed study in there, it might be, it may not show as much. The signs are good, but again, it's a cost. The town has to do the best to buy them. Look at that. State police, I've asked them last time, they don't have those signs. Usually the local police departments has them to put them out there. We can try to talk to the state police, see if they can have a little more.
I haven't seen the trooper anywhere.
But the problem too is you have a trooper barracks which covers several towns and quite a few square miles, and we have 5, 6, maybe 7 troopers covering those areas. So you have a car crash, incident with an alarm, and somewhere else, all your troopers now tied up there. So it's kind of hard to have them at every place every time. Maybe try to ask them to do a little more extra visible patrol in the area, driving through the areas and, I don't know, pulling in the yard. So unfortunately, that's the new route though that a lot of cars have to take because of the main bridge being out.
Understood, thank you.
John Barbara's been trying us.
She beat you.
Barbara Cochran, 507 times. With regards to resolution 2023-93, I would like you, when you discuss it with the public or whether you're gonna discuss it, please clarify with the public why you choose a resolution rather than an ordinance. This is the first thing. And then allow me just to read a couple of notes that I got from some university. So the First Amendment of the US Constitution provides protection to and opportunity for free speech in public forums. Most governing bodies of cities, towns, counties, and special purpose districts have an interest in assuring that meetings are conducted in an orderly way and are not disrupted by threatening irrelevant and overlong comments. So I do understand this. But, okay, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals addressed the issue in the Acosta versus City of Costa Mesa, indicating that the line may lie between council rules that are enforceable and those that violated constitutional rights. I mean, there's really a fine line, and that has to be taken in consideration. Thank you very much.
I can answer why it's a resolution. The Division of Local Government Services, typically called DLGS, under the Department of Consumer Affairs, they regulate government body meetings, and they state that if there is any policy to be taken regarding public comment, it needs to be adopted by a resolution. It does not specify ordinance.
I thought the resolution. Sorry. I'm completely ignorant in the matter, but I've been reading the resolutions should be addressing more administrative issues rather than this is a legislation because it touches, you know,
it's a policy issue because the legislation allows us to do whatever we want with public comment as long as we host some sort of public comment. So it's a policy issue and not a legislative issue, which is why it's a resolution as per the DLGS.
Hi, just briefly, Kim Salino, 6 Creveling Road. This might help you. I think it's great. You guys, in regards to resolution 2023.93, public comments. You have a public comment section on agenda items only, which taboo, I came in, sorry. And you have a second public comments. Most bodies, governing bodies don't, they limit themselves. So you do. I know this from being on the board, our high school board. What might work is instead of doing the aggregate of 5 minutes, 3 minutes for your first time up to the mic. And then everybody else has to speak first up to 30 minutes. If there's time left over, then anyone else who's already spoken come back to the pulpit to speak. That's how we solved we had some similar, going on, and it is a long time. Business has to be taken care of, yet you do need to hear your public. Yeah. So they do agenda items up first, and then at the end, public session, anyone can come up to speak before we go into exec session. We always take care of our public community and staff, teachers, so forth first. But the 30-minute has helped. So we put that in, it's a 30-minute, you hear public comment. So you might have a room full, but you go 30 minutes. Sure. Yes, it might go, you might not get to everyone, and that's up to the board president, executive board to say, hey, we're going to extend for 10 minutes. It might be a hot topic, but it might be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just want to mention that in the past, we had trouble with traffic in the township, and Paul, you may remember this. But the state police did lend one of those radar speed defection,
Yeah.
to the township. I was out there for several months.
They don't have any now, we asked them. I asked them, they said they don't have them anymore.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
I asked them about 2 meetings ago.
okay.
Hi, good evening, Diane Kaczynski, 19 Krebling Road. One last thought on the bridge situation. When you're coming from Bloomsbury over the Milford Wooden Bridge, Milford Road Bridge, there's no stop sign. And I called the DPW months ago when this all happened, because I've seen a lot of close calls. People come off that wooden bridge and just go left or right that aren't familiar with the area. People coming down Stats, and I'm sure people that live there can attest, just come down and want to make the left onto the wooden bridge. People coming up Stats just want to make the right. And it's 3 ways of traffic and there's no yields, there's no stop signs. So if there's anything that can be done to kind of manage the flow of the increased traffic.
What's that intersection?
It's Stats Road and Milford Road at the wooden bridge. There's no signage who has the right of way. So just a suggestion. Thank you.
Hey, Paul, do we have any jurisdiction in any stop sign? Because I don't go that way, but one time I did, and I noticed the same thing. People just.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the suggestion, but that's why I didn't necessarily respond, because I have to find out, because our jurisdiction definitely ends at the beginning of that bridge. So it's because I had DPW trim the trees for sight lines when that bridge started to get used more, but they had to stop at the bridge. So all we could do is that little section in Stats, and that I do agree that that intersection is wide and rather confusing. So I would probably talk to Tom, our engineer, first and see what he would suggest as an engineer, just because it's not a straight T intersection. I think we need some additional help and knowledge there.
Are you gonna reach out to Tom, I guess, and ask him?
I'll reach out to Tom, yes.
Good evening. My name is Dominic Salino. I'm at 6 Krebling Road. You guys probably already know my wife, Kimberly. Again, we're here tonight because of the bridge. I know you guys are tired of hearing it, but it's been a couple of months now we've been dealing with this little bit of a nightmare. Now, one of my neighbors brought up a good idea, and he also brought up a point. Some other people here in the audience brought up points too. The problem we have here is this. The only reason why this thing is not being addressed right away is because of the fact that there is a second bridge. If there was no second bridge, this would be addressed right away. There would have been action taken and something would have been done already, or some kind of instruction in the process of doing this. Which brings me back to the point, why are we here in the first place? The reason why we're here in the first place is because we're allowing the commercial traffic to use 579 on those bridges and Stats Road. And that's what brought us here back 15 years ago when the bridge got hit last time and got repaired. And now it got hit again. My prediction is this. The wooden bridge, the deck is going to get ripped off. Why am I saying that? I will tell you why. I'm a longshoreman. I work near containers every day for the past 32 years. Tractor trailers, straight jobs, doubles, triples, whatever you want to call them. One thing I'd like to find out is there are no weight limit signs on that bridge. A standard 40-foot container is 68,000 pounds. That's 34 tons, not including the tractor and the trailer. Is that bridge equipped for 15 ton?
According to the county and the DOT, yes.
Okay. Is the wooden planks rated for 50 ton?
I'm saying, I asked him the same question.
Now, brings me back to my point. The grading, both those bridges, the grading is horrible. It's been that way since I moved here, back here in 2005, 2007?
No, four,
Something like that.
Too long.
Okay. People never put 2 and 2 together. If you ever really noticed the one bridge that has now been taken out by a tractor trailer, there have always been gouge marks going across the bridge, at the top of the bridge or at the bottom of the bridge. That's because the International Brotherhood of Truckers, or some of them are lazy, don't raise the land, they don't bring the landing pads up all the way. What's gonna happen is this, and as my neighbor pointed out, and my other neighbor pointed out, Willow Road is cramped. That road is cramped. We've already had an incident where one tractor trailer went up coming from Bloomsbury and got stuck there.
Right.
Yes. What's gonna happen is this, you're gonna have a tractor trailer coming down Stats, make the turn, his landing gear is not gonna be up all the way. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. That landing gear is gonna rip the deck off of that bridge. And you're now gonna be stuck with no bridges. So, you talk about GPS. Well, there's something that beats GPS. It's called a radio, CB radio. If it doesn't say it on this GPS, they're gonna tell their buddies on the CB radio, don't worry about it, go take the bridge. Because the last time the bridge got taken out, that was at 3 o'clock in the morning. I know, I saw it. This time the bridge got taken out again, early in the morning. When nobody's there policing it, nobody's there seeing it. And the way it gets destroyed is because they made the left turn trying to get across the bridge. You're gonna have the same problem here with this wooden bridge when one of these guys in a 50-ton vehicle with his landing gear down is gonna make the right turn, and he's gonna rip the deck off and he's gonna take off part of the bridge with it, going with it. There's a real simple solution to this. And I made this suggestion back 15 years ago at the last meeting in Bloomsbury at their town hall. And that was to put steel pylons in on the one side. So if the tractor trailer ever came across and hit it, it's not going to damage the bridge. It's going to hit the steel pylons and bounce off of it. It was a real simple fix. We do it at work for containers and straddle carriers. If it can hold back a vehicle that's 100-ton carrying containers, it sure as heck gonna hold back a tractor trailer trying to make a left turn or a right turn. Now, winter time comes. We're getting close to that time frame. Willow Road cannot handle a tractor trailer. Period. I don't care if the DOT says it's okay, I'm telling you it's not. Because what's going to happen is what we've all seen on Route 78 in inclement weather. It's going to sit on that road and spin. And what's going to happen is, because the road is severely crowned and there's all kinds of ruts and all kinds of potholes on the side, it's going to get stuck there. Leads us back to the point of we're now stuck using 579 going up Jugtown Mountain. Yeah. Since the time I've been there, I've never really used it. I don't care to use it. Reason being, I think it's too dangerous. That's my own personal belief, so I just avoid it. That's why I go the other bridge. And so does everybody else who lives in our neighborhood, who's smart. Now, as far as the speeding is concerned, yes, this lady out here, she has a very big concern about that. I do too. In my neighborhood, we've seen a ton of people who we don't even know suddenly realize they're stuck there in the middle of traffic, speed through our neighborhood to go down to the cul-de-sac, blow a U-ey and come right back out. And I'm sure this young lady here sees the same thing on Stats Road, people flying up and down. I would like to make a suggestion. Put a temporary speed bumps in. Put temporary speed bumps on Prevalent, put temporary speed bumps on the Stats. When all the construction is done, remove them. It's a really good thought. I think it'd be something to be helpful. Because sooner or later, we're going to have a problem with that second bridge, and we're all going to be stuck. And then we're not going to have fire response. We're not going to have EMT response. They're going to have to take a long way going up Turkey Hill. And we all know what Turkey Hill is like in winter. So that's it, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, just Ed, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and I'm going to take all of your comments and take them back to the county and DOT. But I may suggest attending a county meeting as well, so that they can see it. You know, hearing it from me and saying my residents come to me and I'm worried about the rescue and fire. I've been doing that almost daily for the past few weeks. Before that, about once a week, and So I may suggest actually looking at a county meeting and attending and letting them see your faces and your passion and concern as well. And if you're willing to do that, let me know and I'll join you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Reach out, absolutely. Same with you.
Any other public comment? Need a motion? Anyone online? Public comment? Nope. Make a motion.
Close public comment?
Second.
Any motion?
I mean.
He made the motion.
Yeah, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to go into.
Session.
No action.
No action. Sorry.
That's it. Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.